Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Alinga Sise of Urban Harvest Organic Farm. For all of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, I am so grateful. And for those who are still new, please kindly consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Today I'm super excited because finally we have made it to 3 months, guys. It has been a very wonderful journey raising these birds from day one up to this point. And we all know that these birds are supposed to start laying at 4 months and a half or 18 weeks. So roughly we are left with 1 month and a half or 6 weeks for these birds to start laying eggs. But there are also other cases where some people's birds sometimes start laying at 16 weeks. So we are also, we are still also at that target of, if they could start laying at 16 weeks, it would also be good. But the most appropriate time is for them to start laying at between 18 to 20 weeks, okay? Beyond that, that means something was not good or something was not done right. And guys, the good news is the birds did not get any outbreak from day one up to this point. Have not received any outbreak or experienced any outbreak with these birds, like birds died due to disease or what. It has not really happened. So that is really a very good news. So right now at this point, when they are at 12 weeks, each bird is going to eat 75 grams of feed every day, and this we shall be giving it in 2 different portions, in the morning and in the afternoon. So that is the good news. But one thing I want you to know is that with this project, patience pays, and you have only to do the right things and follow the guidelines. And then, as the owner of the farm, please kindly always be available to see everything that is happening in your chicken house or in your poultry farm. So right now we are going to feed the birds, and we are going to go inside, and I want you guys to be able to give me your comments if these birds are really looking like 12 weeks old birds, and you let me know. But what I know is that I've not weighed them for quite long. I'm waiting to weigh them like at 16 weeks. But honestly, the way I see, the combs are growing perfectly well. The birds, the voices have changed. The birds have started making the sound for the laying, like the birds that want to lay eggs. And I'm very sure by 14 weeks, these birds now will be making louder sounds than this. So that is what is giving me the confidence. But for weighing them, I've not weighed them now for some good time. I'm waiting to weigh them at 16 weeks. So just like we always do, we are going to feed the birds, and then I also managed to put the patches like I told you last time. I'm also going to show you the patches and maybe tell you some of the benefits of putting them. So let us get inside the farm and feed the birds. See you right back. But if you're still new, please kindly consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. So guys, these are our birds. They are now 12 weeks old, and the combs are already coming out perfectly well. You can hear even the voices have changed from the chick's voice to coming to mature hens now, eagerly waiting for feeds, okay? So we are going to start feeding from the windows, just to make sure that someone entering here do not step on the birds, okay? So this system actually is really helping me a lot, because we are not going to be stepping on birds here. So you can see all the birds are running towards where the feeds are being put. Then I can easily enter inside without stepping on any bird. the birds are still eating the growers feed, of which it started from 8 weeks and it is running up to 17 weeks. When they are 17 weeks, that's when they are stopping on these feeds. And then from there, we're again going to change to layer 1 feeds. And I remember I gave you the formulas of what we are mixing, the quantities of each and every item that we are supposed to mix. So that should be taken into consideration, because one thing that is very important in this project is about the feeding. You must give these birds the right feeds from the very first day when you bring them. So you guys, you can start rating them according to the way you see the birds. Do they really look like 12 weeks old? Are you really seeing the combs already coming out? Okay? And the sound, you cannot easily hear the sound now, but as we are here physically, we can now hear them start making that laying sound. And the combs, you can see. I think you guys are able to see most of the birds are already developing the combs. But it's all because we are doing the right thing, and we are also using the herbal remedies. Because if these birds maybe had gotten an outbreak, trust me, by now they would not be looking like this. Yesterday I told you that this was the point where I lost so many birds previously. When I told you that I lost over 700 birds, they had made this, they were around this age, between 10 weeks to 12 weeks. That is the time that they started falling sick, and I lost so many birds. But in this case, it's different. The birds are really very active, very lively. And this time, when you're feeding the birds, is when you know the birds that are sick. They are the ones that will remain behind, very dormant, cannot walk. But in this case, all the birds are very active, running up and down for the feeds. So that means we are doing the right thing, and our herbal remedies are really working perfectly well. And let us agree that with poultry farming, you need to be patient, you need to be consistent, and you need to be determined in what you want, okay? So my girl is still feeding them. And in the drinking water, I'm still giving them the herbal remedies that I've been giving, because I told you I was going to give them at least for 5 consecutive days before doing the vaccination. So we are going to do the not vaccination before debeaking the birds, because it is this week that we are going to debeak the birds. And then I'm starting to plan on the laying boxes, the type of the laying boxes that I want, the shape, you know, that is already in plan. And guys, let me be honest, at this point the birds are already eating a lot of feeds, and if you are not ready enough, this is the point where you can easily run away and give up, because they are really feeding, and you have to buy the feeds, and you will not have an excuse that you don't have the money to buy the feeds. So with this project, you need to plan early enough, especially towards this time when they are soon starting to lay. That is when the amount of feeds now increase so greatly, because now at this point that each bird is eating 75 grams. When they make 13 weeks, each bird will be eating 80 grams, like that, and honestly, feeds are not cheap. So it needs, when you have planned for it, when you are ready for it, when you are very disciplined with the issues of money. So that is one thing that I also wanted you guys to know. You need to plan early enough, and you need to be very disciplined financially. So if you know that you will not afford a big number of birds, kindly I request you to bring a fewer number which you can manage, okay? Because with this project, there's no gambling that I'm not going to feed them today, I'll give them little feeds, then maybe tomorrow I'll give them enough feeds. No, it does not work like that. So before I forget, let me show you the patches that I made for these birds, okay? Now I decided to create this for the birds, and I made 2 of them. This one, you can see the birds are already there. They love it a lot. Actually, after feeding, most birds go up there. And then we also have this one. Okay, we also have this one. So this is very good. Now there will come a time whereby the birds have now grown, and now in every farm, I think there are these birds that they normally bully. Okay, because I have had them in all the flocks that I have brought here. So those ones that are bullied normally, they want somewhere where they can be hiding in peace. So if you don't have this where the birds can be hiding, that is where you find that if you put the laying boxes, birds always be up there and it is filled up with droppings. But if you have these patches here where they can stand there, you know, it is very safe for them. And you know, birds naturally, they just love climbing a lot. Okay, so it is very important if you're in a deep litter system to make for your birds this. Okay, especially now if your house is not also very, very large enough, because you can see we have constructed the stands, and the house now seems to be a bit, when you're seeing on camera like this, you might think that the house is enough, but if you see it physically, you really see the space is a bit now small for the birds. Okay, that is why I will continuously tell you that let us consider 6 birds in 1 square meter, so that you don't over congest the birds, for those who want to do the deep litter system. So our Perches is going to help us a lot, because after feeding, the birds always climb up, and you know, they are enjoying, whereas others are down here busy playing in the droppy, in the beddings, because the bedding should also be dry, just like you can see it is dry, and you should put enough bedding. Okay, but for us here, you know, this coffee ask is really very, very important. It's very, very expensive. I prefer using the coffee ask. So you can see it is not as recommended, because at least it should be like 6 inches down, 4 to 6 inch. But you can see mine is not that level, and I've realized that our floor is not typically flat. Okay, some part is a bit sloping, of which you find that coffee ask again ends up or the bedding ends up running to one direction. So that was the reason of me putting the Perches, and it really helps these birds a lot. And actually, that is the side where we are going to put our laying boxes. Okay, that is the best ideal side for putting the laying boxes. Okay, but we shall see how we are going to balance it when the right time comes. So our birds currently are feeding perfectly well. You guys, you can see, I think the feeders that we have put are enough for all the birds, because right now when we fill up all the feeders, you find that at least all the birds are feeding comfortably. Of course, when you're just starting to give them the feeds with the deep litter system, you can't avoid that. All the birds will run towards one direction. That is why most of you normally complain that I should add more feeders. But at the end of it all, when you finish now filling all the feeders with the feeds, that's when you see that all the birds are now feeding and the feeders are enough. But still, when they maybe reach 16 weeks and we see that the feeders are not enough, because we have enough in stock. Guys, remember last time we bought enough feeders? We shall still get some space and fix like 5 more feeders. Okay, today again we are going to sweep the feathers. You can see the house is again full, so we are going to sweep the house today. But of course that will be off the camera, just to inform you, because you're supposed to be sweeping the house so often to avoid it disturbing these birds. Because last night we had birds over over making noise, and we found that they were scared of their own feathers. Can you imagine? So to avoid that, you have to keep cleaning these feathers down here. So for today, that is all I had for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always coming back. Thank you so much for all your wonderful love and support. Thank you so much for always commenting, advising me, giving me your opinion. Please let us share the videos and let us always watch the videos up to the end, and I'll be so grateful. But if you're still new, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Share this video, comment in the comment section down below, and I'll be so grateful. See you next time. I love you all. Bye-bye.